Welcome back to my Lemmings United level solving commentary. Today we are going to continue with the neutrality rank, and we are starting with neutrality 21, not an option. So 20 lemmings and 19 need to be saved. Okay, this level also went through a couple of versions, but that already happened before I played this pack, and so there's only one replay in my replay folder. So first thing I do is I block with the second lemming on with the right entrance. Then I proceed to platform with the first lemming on the right on the left entrance. Block with the lemming behind him. Then the lemming that falls down from the right entrance, give him a floater, and then I proceed to stack with him. Okay, and then what do I do? Okay, and then I use a walker to cancel him. Then I use a floater so that he lands on the stack safely. And then I proceed to build and clone. Okay, and then all that's left to do is to simply release the blockers. I release the blocker on the right side with a walker, while I release the blocker on the left side with a bomber, in such a way so that he also blows a hole through the platform, which allows this group to land safely on the builder bridge. Okay, and then both crowds are able to get to the exit safely while splatting. Alright, next one. Neutrality 22. Basher Laboratory GRO. Alrighty, and as the title of the level suggests, this is all about Basher mechanics. So the first thing I do is I send the first lemming from the crowd to be the climber. He will proceed to forge the path for the crowd. Then I proceed to build over these laser traps. So we use 2 builders there. And then I also build over this water gap, so that also uses 2 builders. Okay, and then once he turns around and climbs up again, we bash the one-way wall to the right. Okay, and then we give him a swimmer. He is blocked by this builder bridge, so he cannot climb back out. And then when he turns around and reaches the one-way wall, we bash. And then finally, all that's left to do is to bash, and then cancel him with a builder mid-stroke. And then I believe I start bashing up here when this climber exits. Yes. Okay. So this part can be a little tricky. So first thing I do is I assign a lemming that touches this wall a basher, and then some of the lemmings will be coming while the basher is working, and sometimes this will happen where one lemming gets hoisted in the air, and when that happens we assign a basher, and then I assigned another basher that came to the wall, and then I proceed to keep bashing, and in the same way the lemming that gets hoisted in the air also bashes. And then it basically keeps on going so that enough of the terrain is removed so that the bashers at the bottom will stop bashing. Since if they keep going, they'll eventually fall into this water gap. And we don't want that because we need to save everyone. So this can be a little difficult to achieve, but luckily we are given plenty of bashers. Okay, and then I still need to stop this bottom basher. Okay, and then luckily enough of the terrain has been removed so that the ones that keep coming up will stop after a stroke. Okay, and then the only lemmings that are going are these 3 bashers up here. Okay, but luckily they're high enough already so that they don't open a gap to the water. Okay. So, as I said before, this part can be pretty tricky. Well, luckily the thing that helps us here is the high release rate, so that we're not really relying too much on timing. So again, it's just all about knowing the bashing mechanics and that Lemmings will be moving upwards when you bash at the right moments. Okay, next one. Neutrality 23. Go ahead, make their day. This was another level that I also showed Icho a background to. In the original version, I essentially did not use this part of the level at all. And so, to enforce going into this area, the fencer was made a pickup. Alrighty, whereas for the level itself, I made the first lemming out a floater. And then I block with the lemming behind the floater, so that it turns the rest of the crowd around. Okay, this floater will proceed to float down, and then he will bridge over this gap. Okay, and this is a key detail here that's pretty crucial. So the first lemming that falls off the bridge, he'll bomb, so that he makes this step that Lemmings can get up. Because if I cancel, or rather go back to the moment before the bomber was assigned, if you look at, use a T, right? Yeah, so you look at this, there's this overhang right here, which prevents the Lemmings from climbing up. And so, once you bomb, it will remove that overhang that you saw before, allowing the Lemmings to step up. Alrighty. And then here I proceed to build a staircase with the floater. Okay, everyone else will be able to fall down safely. Okay, and he's a floater, so he will not fall down the spot. Okay, so here is some timing that needs to be done. So I let the non-floaters turn around, and then the floater that comes up here, I bash with him. Okay, and then I proceed to build up with the floater. And then I fence once I get here. And this gives him just enough time to allow the others to turn around in the fencer tunnel. Okay, and this allows the floater to build the remaining 2 bridges to the exit. Okay, and he finished just in the nick of time. He was able to place the last builder brick just in time. Okay, and then, yeah, I proceed to nuke the blocker. Okay, it's a pretty nice level. Can be a little tricky, especially at the beginning part. But then afterwards, it gets a little bit easier, but not like a whole lot. Alrighty, and then the next one, Neutrality 24, being high and seeing double. This was a level where I PM'd Icho because I noticed that there was a problem with the pickup skills and that no icons were shown in the circles. It just turned out to be how I didn't have the up-to-date styles. I think at the time I used the Lemmings installer rather than the exe file. But in any case, I was able to figure out what the problem was. So that PM wasn't really necessary. But in any case, it also let him know that I was playing through his Lemmings United pack. So, and I'm getting ahead of myself here. So, first lemming from this entrance right here, he proceeds to stack, and then we clone him. So doing this will allow only one lemming to slip by. It will be our worker lemming. And then first lemming up here will proceed to build. And then we also clone him, so that we can seal off the gaps in both directions and contain the upper crowd. Okay, so with this, we now have both crowds contained. And here, 2 lemmings will slip by in the upper crowd. Oh no, I'm sorry, only 1 slips by. This lemming that slipped by was from the bottom crowd. Okay, and then we pick up the disarmor pickup. This lemming will be given a swimmer. And then he will build a bridge into this wall. This guy will be given a swimmer. And then he will reach the water just in time before the gap is sealed. Okay, and then he'll proceed to build the bridge to the left so that the crows can land on it while falling into the water. Okay, and then he is still able to step out due to the placement of the builder. And then I proceed to bash so that he can exit. Okay, and this swimmer was also given a climber. And then we will proceed to assign him a glider so that he can land on here and pick up the basher pickups, like so. And then we also give him the disarmor so he can disarm these evil flower traps. And then I released both the crowds with a basher by bashing to the right. And that is it. Okay, there's still the stack here, but he is a climber, so he's able to get over it. And that's it. So, quite a nice level there with a really nice solution. It's just all about knowing how to contain the crowds while letting 2 lemmings slip by and having them forge the path. Alrighty, Neutrality 25. Path to Abandonment.
Let's go!
Alright, so I proceed to make the very first lemming, going to the left a climber. Okay, and then once he gets to the top, I mine. And then I send another climber up at this time. Okay, and I do it in such a way. What do I do? Okay, so here I bomb the miner. Okay, so that the lemming that turns around to the right is falls down the bomber hole that was made. And then I use a floater. And then I also give him a disarmor so he can disarm this trap here. Okay, and then I proceed to dig right underneath the corridor where the lemmings will dig down to be released. Just doing this, lining up these digger pits will allow the crowd to fall into the updrafts and then land safely while splatting. Okay, and then at this time I send another lemming, but this time going out to the right. Okay, so here I proceed to mine. And then we use the exact same trick that we used up here, where we will use a bomber to stop the miner. Okay, that allows him to turn around in this hole that he made and come out to the left, where he will proceed to disarm these traps. And then finally, all that's left to do is to release the crowd with a digger. So here I ended up with a basher left over. So apparently this was deemed okay. So in this case, I'm not exactly sure what the basher is used for then. So pretty nice level there, just relying on using a bomber to release a miner. So achieving that will require good timing of releasing the climbers. Alright, Neutrality 26. Speak to the hand. Okay, this is the level where I mentioned that we will see a builder proceed to disarm a trap. Where is it? There it is.
Let's go!
Okay, the first lemming that comes out at the entrance, I make him a climber. And then I proceed to dig down here. And then at the same time, I release another climber from the crowd. Okay, this first climber will be a disarmer. Okay, so So the I think he's the disarmer. Yeah, he'll proceed to bash to the right, while the while the climber does not a disarmer, he'll mine to the left to mine the crowd out. And then here is where we build, so that we can get over this gap while falling into the pit, where the lemmings will die. And then this is where the disarmer will disarm this trap. So it goes to show you that disarmer will work when you are building as well. Last time we saw it with a platformer. Then what was the last skill that I assigned? Oh, and then I also give this miner a floater, because he's going to reach this wall and climb up. And obviously this is a deadly height, or a deadly fall. And so we need to give him a floater so that he lands safely back down. And we also need to save everyone too. Okay, and that's it. Can be a little tricky, but it's just about knowing where to place the skills in order to release the crowd. Alrighty, next level. Neutrality 27. Peak performance.
Let's go.
Alrighty. This has a really nice solution from what I remember. So with the first lemming, I make him bash. And then after several strokes, or rather, until the last lemming arrives, yeah, I make the very last lemming in that crowd a blocker when he's going to the left. Okay, this will prove to be extremely crucial later, as we will see. So that basher will proceed to pick up the minor pickup skills, and then after he does so, I assign him a walker, so that he turns back to the left. And then, since the crowd is still coming, I don't mine out the blocker yet. Okay, so now that everyone's turned around, now I proceed to assign a miner to release him. Okay, and this is just enough time to make the miner tunnel deep enough so that no one can climb up to the right. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and time skip this since it's pretty long. Oh, and also we have another crowd here as well. And then after reaching underneath the exit platform, we proceed to bash. And then just after we get past the exit, go ahead and interrupt the basher with a walker mid-stroke so that they can step on it into the exit area. And then all that's left to do is to mine the crowd out, this crowd out. Which I should do with the final lemming. Yeah, with the final lemming from the left hatch. And that's it. This level, from what I remember, was definitely one of the easier ones. It definitely didn't take me that long to see the solution. Yeah, but oh no, it's a very, very nice level with a really good solution. Alright, Neutrality 28, Firewalking. This, on the other hand, was one of the harder levels of the rank, and we are also under a time limit, 1 minute. So the time limit definitely adds to the challenge here, on top of our already difficult level.
Let's go.
Alright. So the first time it comes out, I assign him a glider, and then immediately clone him, so that I have a glider going to the left, who will proceed to land here. And then after he glides for a bit, I clone this glider. Or in this case, I clone the clone glider. Yeah, since this one is a clone. This is the original lemming. Okay, this glider will proceed to land down here. And then this clone glider that was from here, he's going to proceed to stack. And then the first non-glider that falls onto the stack, he'll block. And then this glider that is down here, he's going to proceed to platform across this gap. What I do? And then I assign this lemming up here a glider. Okay, so this blocker will allow the crowd to turn around and go over to this area. Okay, Okay, so now all that's left to do is to simply prepare the platform gaps, platform bridges, I should say, to close off the gaps. And then this last, okay, so this proceeds to platform, and then this last non-glider from the hatch, he will proceed to release the blocker by digging after he turns around and lands. Okay, and then this lemming will proceed to platform across this gap. And then this blocker that was just released will platform across this gap. Okay, and then this platform pickup was collected, which will be used for this last gap over here. So now all that's left to do is to bash through this obstacle and then platform across. So here I even have to help with this raised area after bashing to platform across. But even if I didn't, the steel block here is lower than the wall here, so that he is able to platform across without turning around. And that's it. So can't be quite difficult. I know it was for me when I first played this level. It took me several attempts before I was finally successful. So there, we had 5 seconds remaining. And then next one is Neutrality 29. Tonight it is showtime. Okay, this one was also a difficult one for me. Mostly due to the trick that was needed here, which we'll see in a bit. So first lemming that falls out to the right, he's going to proceed to stack. And then I max the release rate and release 2 lemmings. And then the second lemming that fell down, I stack and clone him. Okay, and then the first lemming that comes on top of the stack will proceed to stack. Okay, so he's the only one that's on top of the first stack. Okay, and then once he gets up, immediately clone him. And then he'll proceed to stack one more time. And then clone him. And now we've finally got a lemming up here. We'll collect these digger pickup skills. Okay, so here I believe we cloned him. Yes. And then clone him again. So this lemming that fall from here, he's going to proceed to be a stoner, so that this lemming can land down safely, splatting. And then this lemming that fell from here, he's going to go ahead and be a bomber to make a hole here, so that this other lemming can fall down here and collect the builder pickup. And then proceed to build so that we can collect this builder pickup. Should be releasing the crowd sometime soon. Okay, and then proceed to dig down so that he goes into this exit. Anytime now. There we go. And how did I do this? Okay, I did it with a lemming from this area while he was going to the left. So it also dug out this part so that the crowd that was stuck in between the stacks are released. Okay, and then everyone will gather inside this digger pit. It's a long way down, so just going to time skip. And then that's it. The lemmings will each walk into an exit. So again, can be quite difficult due to the trick needed. And this one took me quite a while to figure the getting on top of a stack. And then stacking and then cloning to get lemmings higher. Okay, and then the final level for this video, Neutrality 30, like an eagle in the wind. Pretty nice solution to here, and definitely not as difficult as the previous 2 levels. Okay, and this one, for some very odd reason, my first replay broke. I don't exactly know why. But in any case, I fixed my replay, and so now I have an updated replay that works. So it will be this one.
Let's go.
Alrighty. So the first lemming that goes to the left, he will be a climber. And then assign him a glider. And after climbing, he's going to go ahead and glide to here, just past the frog trap. Okay, and then I proceed to stack. This is so when we release the crowd layer, they're just going to turn around on the stack. In this way, they are not able to walk into the frog trap. Okay, and then here I proceed to stack here. Again, same thing, so that when we release the crowd, they'll hit this stack and turn around, so that they don't walk into the water. And then I make him, or rather assign him a walker to turn him around, where I proceed to put a stack here, so that when we assign the digger, he'll go through the stack and all the way through this platform as well. Yeah, we only have one digger to release the crowd, so we need to make sure that we go through both of these platforms. And the stacker will help with that, if you line it up correctly. Alrighty, and then this time we'll proceed to glide down here. And then once I land, I stack with him again, because when the digger in the crowd gets through this, some of the lemmings will be falling out to the right, and so the stacker is there so that they don't walk into the water. And then all that's left to do is to platform across this water gap using both platformers. Okay, and this glider is safe. Now we just need to release the crowd with a digger. So here we dig in such a position so that he goes through this post, through this platform, through the stack, and then proceeds to go through this platform. I'm gonna go ahead and time skip this. Okay, so as you can see, some lemmings fell down and walked to the right. So that's why the stacker is there. And that's it. Somewhat tricky, but it's not like really hard. It's a very nice level. Okay, so that was 10 levels. And so in the next video, we will finish up the rest of the neutrality rank, when I cover neutrality 31 all the way through neutrality 41. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you again for the next one.